still from this position, hook elbow deep under the arm, okay? Now, I need to post on my head in order to make my leg light. Boom. Now look where we land. We land into a Ushiro Senkaku, a rear triangle position. From here, throw my leg over and start working on the armbar finishes. Hey, what's going on? We're back here at Uprise MMA, early morning with Derek again, after training, tired. We looked at an option, a great option for taking the back from close guard by bringing the opponent's elbow past the center line. That's one great option. There is others. We can go into arm bars. We could go into triangles from there as well. Let's look at those right now. So we're not going to go into details on how to get the elbow past the center line. We already did that in the previous video, but basically we're getting to bringing his elbow across my body. As soon as it gets to my center line or past my center line, as I'm maintaining his posture, I'm going to swivel and shrimp away off his body and bring the elbow. His elbow is going to fall onto the floor. Now I'm not trying to push his elbow any further. I'm moving myself away from the elbow. Okay, a very important point to remember. It's easier to move yourself from anything rather than trying to push it away. So from here, all the same beginnings as my previous video on the back take. We're going to build up to, we're going to grab onto the lat here. If I don't get the lat, he's just going to pull his arm out. Okay? So now we're back to square one. We want to maintain something good. We got something good, we want to keep it, right? So I'm going to grab onto his lat here. Now I want to bring my head above his head. Right now my head is more or less on the same level or below. I'm going to bring my elbow back here, build up to an elbow. Now my head is higher than his head. Okay? From here, we saw the back take option. We're going to invert my bottom leg and stretch our top leg. And we got to this point, right? Now here, we took the back in the previous video. On this one, what we're going to do is, we're going to get to an armbar. Let's say we're pressed for time. We don't have, let's say there's maybe 30 seconds on the clock, okay? We want to get that submission. We don't have time going to the back and then searching for the submission. His defenses are probably going to be good. We're going to go for an armbar from here. Or maybe armbars are just your preference, who knows? So from here, what we want to do is, we're going to come to the side, still from this position, hook elbow deep under the arm, okay? Now, I need to post on my head in order to make my leg light. I'm still hooking on this side. I need to make my leg light, okay? If I'm not posting, I can't really move my leg too much. It's stuck on his body. It's kind of equally distributed weight over my body. Put my head on the floor, my hand here, and I start going perpendicular to him. The more perpendicular I am, the better. Now look what I'm doing with my shin. I'm putting it behind his neck, and I'm falling onto this hip, left hip in this case. That's why I want to be perpendicular, because at this point, if I'm not perpendicular, I'm going to slide out. I'm not going to have this kind of control. Right now, I'm elbow deep. We'll show it from a different angle in a moment. And my shin is behind his head. Now I'm going to reach to his near leg and pull it towards me. That's going to bring his far leg towards me as well. I'm going to grab it. Now I'm going to go flat on the floor and bring his feet, his legs across my chest right here. This doesn't require any strength because I'm going flat. From here, throw my leg over and start working on the armbar finishes. Okay? We're not going to go over the finishes today. Let's do it once again from feet, footwork. So we're here. We get one way or another, we get that elbow past the center line. Right away, as soon as we do that, we want to create an angle and block the elbow from coming back. Get the lat, build up to my own elbow, so my head goes above his. From here, I'm going to push with my left leg. I'm going to punch down my knee towards his lower back and invert my other knee towards the floor. Here I am. Now, my idea is to finish the armbar instead of taking the back. What I'm going to do is get myself into a more perpendicular position, put my head on the floor, hook my left arm on his elbow, elbow deep to elbow. As I'm coming perpendicular, my shin goes behind his head. Now I'm gonna fall onto my hip. As I fall onto my hip, I'm facing his legs. Now, from here, if he rolls, we just take the armbar, okay? We don't have to do all this. But he's probably not gonna roll. He's not in a position where he's feeling imminent danger or threat, so he's not going to be that willing to roll. He knows an armbar is coming. So what I'm gonna do is start pulling the legs. If I can reach the far leg right away, I will. I'm not that tall, my arms are not as long, so I'm just gonna bring him closer with this one. As I bring this, the other one comes in, okay? Now what I'm gonna do is, I'm not just gonna pull him up in the air, I can't do that. I can't just lift his whole weight. What I'm gonna do instead is go flat on the floor, my right shoulder is gonna hit the floor, his legs are gonna come across my chest to this side. Now I'm gonna flip my other leg over his head. I'm not gonna go wide, that's gonna give him a chance to escape. From here, just flip it over. You can keep the leg if you wanna go into that spiderweb position and work from here, or you can do however you want, however you're normally working. I like to personally use this arm, right? But that's a matter of personal preference. The second option from here is even better. We're gonna go into the same position as we were. We're gonna, all the same beginning. This series is about elbow past the center line. We're gonna get to the lat, build up to an elbow, come up here. Now for this particular one, he's not tight. For the previous one, he got tight with his arms here, right? So we're still able to get the hook, but his arms are tight. For this particular one, we're getting the hook, just like we start, but it's a little bit looser with this arm here, all right? So instead of putting my shin behind his neck, what I'm gonna do is, again, perpendicular, what I'm gonna do is I feel that I can actually see that his arms are open. I'm gonna hook under, okay? Now what I'm gonna do is, because there's weight behind his head, it's gonna be easy for me to just roll him over, right? Boom. Now look where we land. We land into a Ushiro Senkaku, a rear triangle position, okay? I'm gonna maintain his arm like an Americana type of position by grabbing bottom wrist to wrist and maintaining his elbow stuck to my chest. His whole forearm is stuck to my chest right now. Now what I'm gonna do is keep heavy here so he doesn't swivel his arm back, his left arm. Keep heavy here and hook him. I'm gonna put my foot on his hip, push him down, push myself up rather, while I'm pushing him down, and my leg is gonna swivel this way. Now I'm gonna cross. When I cross right away, I'm gonna put my foot behind, okay? I can adjust, keep his arm still here. I can adjust, and now I'm gonna squeeze my knees, right? For a triangle. There's other attacks from here as well. You can do armbars, you can do Americanas, you can do kimuras, etc., etc. One more time. This is a good angle. One more time. We expose the elbow past the center line. Grab the lat. Maintain side scissor for now. So I can build up to an elbow and bring my head higher than his. I'm gonna invert. Scissor like my legs and invert my knee towards the floor. From here, I'm gonna hook. Put my head on the floor so my leg becomes light. Now I can do whatever I want with this leg, right? I get as perpendicular as possible. I notice there's space between his arms. They're open. I hook under his armpit, right here. Now what I'm gonna do is come back down to my left hip, and he's gonna roll because he has no other option here. From here, the first thing I'm gonna do is pin him down with this leg so he doesn't turn into me, and at the same time, I'm gonna maintain control over this arm. I'm gonna maintain control over this arm. But when his forearm, his knuckles and forearms stuck to my chest, okay? When I do this, I'm kind of controlling like a reverse crucifix type of thing. He has nowhere to go right now. From here, I'm in a bad angle to close a triangle. My leg is blocked by his body. So what I want to do is angle myself better. This leg is very light right now, and it's serving no purpose just being here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on his hip. I'm going to push myself up and push him down at the same time while I'm maintaining control here. When I do this, I don't lift this leg off because it's going to swivel his arm back in or his head up, either way. What I do instead is I slide it across his chest. Slide my calf across his chest. Right here. I close a triangle. Right away, I'm going to put my foot behind. If I don't, he's going to start working on the escape here. Go for it. Either that, or put it between his legs and start escaping. Don't want that. We work very hard for this position. Right away, as I close my triangle, doesn't have to be tight. I put my foot behind his back. Now, while I'm controlling here, I'm tightening up. Now I squeeze my knees, and we got the tap. So these are a couple of options from the same position. Elbow past the center line. Both are very good options, depends on what you're shooting for. Triangle setup takes a little bit longer, but if you're pressed for time, if you only got like 20-30 seconds, the armbar is an excellent option. You got literally nothing to lose, and if you need points, maybe you can take the back, but submission is what we're looking for primarily, so there you go. Two great options from the same position we looked at last week. All right, thank you again, Derek. Thank you, Uprise MMA, for hosting this.